Well done, Mr. Trump. Joining me right now is Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union, and U.S. Congressman Adam Smith, who's a Democrat from Washington. Congressman Smith, you know, the Congress, we're getting all kinds of information about the Trump people being now investigated for cover-up. We've got someone inside the White House, someone close to the president. We're not supposed to know his name yet. Maybe we can imagine who it is. Somebody very close to the president, perhaps in his family. Who knows? And then we have a lot of stuff going on with the president now admitting to the Russians he's meeting with and saying to them, you know, I got rid of this guy Comey, the FBI director, because he was investigating me. I mean, this is something, there's something that smells of the third world in this whole thing. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think it's a terrible situation. And one of the things that the Democrats and others need to stop doing, and I saw Senator Feinstein say this last night, that they see no evidence of collusion. I don't know what their definition of evidence is, but there is an incredible mountain of evidence at this point of collusion. Evidence does not mean conclusive proof. Evidence does not mean conviction. But when you look at the contacts between top officials in the Trump campaign and Russian officials and the Russian hacking, there's clear evidence of collusion. That's why a special prosecutor was appointed. Now, where does that evidence take us? We'll have to see. And then, of course, there's the second issue, which you raise, which is obstruction of justice. Did President Trump try to stop the investigation? He's pretty much said that he did. He pretty much said that he fired Comey to make it go away. So based on his words, you've got two big issues. And then the third issue, which we haven't quite talked about, is what is the relationship between Trump's private business and his finances and Russia? You know, a couple of years ago, we had quotes from the Trump family about all the money that Russia had loaned them. What is the nature of that? So one of the things that I hope Special Prosecutor Mueller does is gets Trump's tax records, gets his business records, so we can see what all those connections are. But we got to stop. We got to stop saying there's no evidence. There's evidence. Is there proof? Well, not yet, but we're investigating. There is absolutely evidence of collusion.
Well, against all that backdrop, I wanted you to...
What is that?
Well, let's talk about
I'll be happy to tell you.
I'd love to know.
Well, go ahead, Congressman.
Yeah.
It's your game.
Well, first of all, you have what happened with Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn's relationship with the Russians, his constant meeting with the Russians while he was a top national security advisor to the Trump campaign. Then he was dishonest about what he said to the Russians. Then he got fired. You've got the fact that there was a plank in the Republican platform calling for arming Ukraine to defend themselves. Then all of these meetings happened between Russian officials and various Trump campaign people. That plank got pulled out of the platform. You've got Roger Stone, who said it's going to be Podesta's turn next, and then 2 days later, his email was hacked. Now, is that proof? Is that proof? It's not proof, but it's certainly evidence.
It's definitely not proof.
Go back, retort to all that.
And I don't think that what we're really talking about here,
retort to the points he made.
I'm going to. I don't think that what we're talking about here is anything about Michael Flynn. I think that the news that came out today is there is a person of interest at the White House who's close to the president. So it's not really about any of those things the congressman talked about. As far as the
investigation is about those things.
Now let me talk. As far as the FBI,
just to make the point, he said there is evidence of collusion.
And
you say there's no evidence.
No, I see nothing. Matter of fact, I see. If you look at the FBI, I think that what is if you were going to stop this investigation by firing the FBI director, that'd be a stupid thing to do, because there's only one political, and it's really even tough to call this job a political at the FBI. It's a director. It's completely run by professionals.
Why did he say fire for that reason?
Well, let me finish.
He gave that reason.
But the #2 man who's now running the FBI has said there's been zero pressure by the White House to stop any of our activities. So if the president was intending, and I don't think he was, to do anything, the investigation still continues. And I think the reason why the president thought that Jim Comey was doing a bad job at the FBI is what a lot of Democrats have been telling me, Chris, for months, which is he's a political lightning rod, and he had lost confidence of a lot of people on the right and the left. It was actually the right decision to have somebody new run the FBI.
Okay, Matt, what about the report that the president asked Comey, before he fired him, to drop the investigation of Flynn, his national security advisor? What was that?
I think it was not a smart thing for the president to do.
Well, it evidenced the cover-up.
I don't think that's true at all.
How not?
Because the fact is this, which is when you have an investigation going on at the FBI, no matter what the president tells them, they're going to investigate. And then it's a question.
And look, can I make a quick point, Chris? I let him go for a while. Can I make a quick point here?
Go for it.
Obstruction of justice does not require you to be successful. okay, it doesn't mean that, well, as long as the investigation continued, you could not have tried to obstruct it. If the president tried to get Comey to stop the investigation by asking him to lay off Flynn, if, as the president himself has said, he fired Comey because he didn't like where the Russian investigation was going, that's evidence of obstruction of justice. And also, you still haven't countered any of this evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russian hacking. There is a lot of evidence of that. And to say that there is none is simply factually incorrect.
Okay, so let's go through this again. You have the FBI in testimony before the Congress, the director of the FBI, the acting director, saying that there's been zero influence by the House to stop their investigation. So the investigation continues whether Jim Comey is at the FBI or is not at the FBI. If the congressman's assertion is that because of the actions of Michael Flynn, that is what this is about, I think we have been talking about the actions of Michael Flynn. Well, that was the major thrust of what you said. I think if that's the thrust of what you're saying...
No, I mentioned a whole lot of people. It's not just Michael Flynn. There's evidence of 18 different Trump campaign officials meeting with Russian officials. Michael Flynn is but one example.
Meeting with Russian officials. Okay. By the way, the Hillary Clinton campaign met with Russian officials. That is very thin.
Okay, let's imagine that you're McCabe, and your boss just gets his head lopped off for pushing the Russian investigation too strongly. You think that might not be a bit intimidating to you? I just fired your boss for being too aggressive. You better watch your butt. And you're saying that's not attempting him?
Look, I think this is my feeling of the FBI, right? And I admit to you this is serious, and I admit to you that if the White House had better get ready for a very long process. But the fact is this. The FBI is going to do their job. If you try to go after them politically, and if they take this as a threat, they're going to double down and investigate even more
okay, let me have some
and that's exactly what happened.
This is hardball, Congressman. Should the president move our embassy to Jerusalem?
Well, let me just get that a second. No, he shouldn't.
Yes.
What he just described.
Yes, he should.
Why? You want Trump?
He promised to.
Thank you. The answers I expected. Go ahead, Congressman.
No, what I was going to say is what he just said is what Trump did. Okay, is he did try to slow this down. Okay, I mean the president has admitted that he did that. So
yeah,
to say that,
by the way,
I'm with you.
He admitted that he wanted Comey to not be the head of the investigation, but you can't control what the FBI.
I'm with you that it was a very dumb thing to do by the president. If he thought firing Comey and telling Comey, hey, lay off Flynn, if he thought that was going to reduce the investigation, you are absolutely right. It was going to have the exact opposite effect. It was very stupid. But he said he did it.
But all Democrats wanted Comey fired just a a few months ago.
No, he didn't. Find me a Democrat who said fire Comey. Find me one.
John Podesta.
They didn't say it.
Senator Schumer. Harry Reid. Let's keep going.
There's a reason why Crossfire's off the air. Thank you, Matt Schlapp, and thank you, U.S. Congressman Adam Smith. Congressman.